What is up, everybody? It's Animac here for Anime Uproar, and today I will be breaking down the latest events in the Boku no Hero story, including what could be the end of the epic heroes vs villains super fight that has been taking place for the past dozens of chapters. Are the villains really about to retreat, or is this yet another misdirection before Toga and the others make their final move? Let's talk about it. If you enjoy the Boku no Hero content on this channel, please leave a like and comment, it really does help. You might think it doesn't matter, but liking and commenting on this video directly supports our channel because it tells YouTube to recommend this video to more people. And if you're new to Anime Uproar, or maybe you just haven't subscribed yet, make this the video that you subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. You can also hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Anime Uproar. Finally, this video will contain Boku no Hero manga spoilers, so please proceed with caution, you have been warned. The latest chapter starts off with a panel showing the shield hero Crust giving a thumbs up, just as he did mere moments before his death at the hands of Shigaraki's decay. The next few panels show Aizawa, Miruko, Gran Torino, Ryukyu, and the other heroes who have been injured during the epic battle of Jakku. We also see Hoox, Mount Lady, and others from the villain mansion, along with Deku and everyone else who contributed in some way to this incredible struggle against the villains. Best Jeanist proclaims that all of these individuals who sacrificed their bodies, and in some cases their very lives, contributed in their own important way to finally bringing Gigantomachia down. The sleeping agent that Momo had created is now finally taking effect, and everyone who fought against Machia up to this point did their part. They all helped to buy time and to wear the monster down just enough for the sleeping agent to finally take hold. This entire hero operation was a massive team effort that so many heroes and hero students participated in, and Jeanist has faith that the heroes can defeat the villains right here and now. Meanwhile, Mirio is helping to take down the Nomu, including one Nomu that appears to have the exact same quirk abilities as the shield hero Crust. This was very interesting to me, and I can't be the only one that noticed it, because Crust died just recently in the story, and then we get to see his face in the very first panel of this chapter, and now we see a Nomu that seems to have a very similar power to his power. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be some sort of hint about Crust and this Nomu, or it's just a coincidence, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, I have to take back what I said about Bakugo's new hero name in my previous Boku no Hero video. The unofficial translation called him the God of Destruction Dynamite, which I thought was fine, but not as cool as Lord Explosion Murder. However, the official translation for Bakugo's new hero name is actually Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite. Yes, seriously. I have to take back what I said, because this new name is even crazier and even more hilarious than Lord Explosion Murder. So, I fully support Bakugo on this one. Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite is freaking hilarious and pretty awesome. And come on, it definitely fits his edgelord personality perfectly. Anyway, now that Machia has been subdued, Best Jeanist and the other heroes can finally turn their attention to Shigaraki and the League of Villains. Mr. Compress is aware that the villains are in big trouble. With Machia down and the rest of the villains tied up and immobilized by Jeanist's cables, there isn't much that they can do. And since Shigaraki seems to have lost consciousness again, Compress decides that it's time for him to act. It's now up to him to go from being a side character to a main character. I mean, definitely not, but I do appreciate Compress's wishful thinking. Compress knows that the villains still haven't achieved their goals and they still haven't achieved their dreams, so he doesn't want to let it all end here. Compress loves the League. It was the only group that truly accepted people like him, deviants with a dark past and outcasts who are hated by the rest of society. So Compress decides that he must sacrifice his own body to save his fellow villains. He uses his powers of compression to carve out a piece of his own backside, and this allows him to wiggle out of the cables that were tying him down. He then compresses Spinner and Shigaraki into marbles and attempts to make his escape. Genist warns Compress that the butt injury that he just caused himself will be fatal if he tries to run away. Presumably, he will die from blood loss. Okay, I joke, but seriously though, Compress didn't just take out a little piece of his butt cheek, he actually sliced off a huge chunk of his body, and he may have seriously damaged some vital organs. So yeah, Mr. Compress may be dying as we speak. Compress then reveals that he is actually the descendant of Oji Harima, the Peerless Thief. Harima was a villain who stole from the greedy heroes and redistributed their wealth to the people. So he was some sort of anti-hero Robin Hood type figure. We don't really know anything else about Harima or his quirk, but Oji Harima was actually mentioned once before. In chapter 171, Gentle mentioned Oji Harima as one of the 3 most infamous Japanese villains in history. Harima was mentioned along with All for One and Destro. As all of this is happening, Dabi and Shoto are still fighting, but since Endeavor has apparently passed out from his injuries, Dabi decides that he doesn't want to kill Shoto. And not because they're brothers and Dabi is coming to his senses, no, it's because he wants Endeavor to actually see Shoto die with his own 2 eyes. Man, Dabi is so messed up and completely obsessed with Endeavor. Dabi's entire freaking life seems to revolve around getting revenge on Endeavor, and no matter what Endeavor did to him as a child, I honestly wouldn't wish such an obsessive, hate-filled existence to anyone. Dabi's descent into absolute madness is kind of depressing when you think about it, but let's move on. Dabi uses a massive Flash Fire Fist jet burn on Shoto, and Shoto collapses to the ground. Dabi then joins up with Mr. Compress, as Compress decides that he will leave the rectification that Oji Harima wanted to bring about in the hands of Shigaraki. And from this, it is clear that Compress is planning to forfeit his own life in order to allow the other League of Villains members to escape. As Compress finally ditches his mask and reveals his face to the world for the first time, we also see the full extent of his self-inflicted injuries, and it's hard to imagine that Compress can survive this unless he gets some top-notch medical assistance right away. But getting to an ambulance isn't what Mr. Compress is planning to do. As Mirio rushes at the villains, Compress promises to put on a once-in-a-lifetime show, an escape trick of epic proportions, and that is how this chapter ends. This chapter really seemed to be implying that the big battle is coming to an end and that the villains are about to retreat. And it was also implying that Mr. Compress just sacrificed his own life in order to allow his fellow League of Villains members to escape. But is this really it? Are the villains about to flee the battlefield, and is this epic war arc coming to a close? It's possible, but personally, I don't think so, not yet. Yes, the villains are in bad shape right now, including the big boss Shigaraki, but hey, the heroes are in bad shape too. Endeavor, Deku, Shoto, Bakugo, and many other heroes are out for the count. The injuries that they have sustained during this battle have caught up to them, and they are nowhere near 100%. And yes, the heroes have an advantage because Genist and Mirio still seem to be in good fighting shape, but all it would take to change this situation on the ground is one more major play by the villains. And speaking of which, where is Toga? We haven't seen her ever since she left Ochako to meet up with the villains again. And of course, we know that with her awakened quirk, Toga is able to potentially cause a lot of damage to the heroes. Especially if she consumed some of Twice's blood at some point in the past, which could technically allow her to unleash Sad Man's Parade. Personally, I really don't think that this battle is going to end without Toga doing anything. Not after all of that build-up about her quirk awakening. Compress probably will end up sacrificing his own life to rescue the other villains and buy them some time, but I do think that the villains still have an ace in the hole, and that ace's name is Toga. But let me know what you guys think. Are the villains really about to retreat and give the W to the heroes, or is yet another major twist coming? Is Mr. Compress about to die for real? And is Toga going to make a move before this battle comes to an end? Don't forget to share your thoughts down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more Boku no Hero content right here on the channel, please leave a like to let me know. It really does help. And if you're new to the channel or you just haven't subscribed yet, make this the video that you subscribe and hit that notification bell to turn on all notifications. You really have to go through the trouble of hitting that bell and then selecting the option that says all. It's annoying, but unless you do that, you're still gonna miss a ton of our videos, even if you are subscribed. It's just how YouTube works. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Anime Uproar. I want to give a big thank you to all of our Anime Uproar patrons for making videos like this one possible. Special thank you to Alpha Sigma, disciple of Lord Twigo himself. And I can't forget all of our The One tier patrons, the ones who rise above all other clans, including Ingrata, The World, Acquired Respect, Liam Thompson, Pate Heffa, Rathian YX, Emperor Otaku, Thomas Jones, Spidey Life Danelle, Baked Buddhist, Tungsten Tarkus, and Denki Kaminari. And finally, thank you to all of our Pro Hero tier patrons, including the one and only Gilgamesh, Steelers, Angel Cruz, Anatoly Kazatski, Cricket XP, Joe Stanton, Very Gucci, Jessica Califon, Alicia Akhter, Bonnie Parks, Hinokami and Water, their red-haired raven, Florian, Joanne Garcia, Jack Watches Anime, Fatboy Games, Deadly Saint, Matthew Cruz, and Anthony Schreiber. If you enjoy our videos and you feel that they provide value for you, consider supporting us on Patreon. Even a single dollar will give you access to our patron-exclusive Discord, and your name will appear in our videos along with these legendary people. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys!